Good evening, everyone. This is your evening news recap. I hope all of you guys are having a wonderful day. My day has been all right. Today is Tuesday. It is May 20th. It's been an interesting day in the news world, and the Trump administration has definitely done some interesting things. But, of course, we have some other news as well. With that being said, hope all you guys had a wonderful day, and let's get started. Starting today, we have the Trump administration segment per usual. We have multiple topics in the Trump administration today, and we will be opening up with the Department of Justice indicting a Democratic congresswoman. The Justice Department has announced it will be filing charges against Representative LaMonica McLeaver, a Democrat from New Jersey, claiming she assaulted law enforcement officials at an ICE facility in Newark. The acting U.S. Attorney for New Jersey, Alina Habba, accused McLeaver of posting on X, claiming her of assaulting, impeding, and interfering with law enforcement. Cleaver called these charges purely political and said she looks forward to the truth being laid out in court. If we allow them to come after judges and representatives, we lose. At that point, this country is no longer for the people, and that is the direction we are heading. Now, obviously, this lady should win the case, as she is an old woman, and it's very clear that as hard as she tried, she was not going to impede on that case. But you'll never know. We'll see how it ends up, but hopefully she wins. I'm fixing a spelling mistake before I lose it. You know how it goes. Anyways, moving on to the next topic. Kristi Noem has no clue what habeas corpus is. The Department of Homeland Security Director Kristi Noem has failed to correctly describe habeas corpus. During a hearing on Tuesday, Noem was at Capitol Hill to testify before the Senate on her department's budget for 2026, during which she was asked to define habeas corpus by the Senator Maggie Hassan. She responded, habeas corpus is a constitutional right that the president has able to remove people from this country, but that is incorrect, as habeas corpus is a legal principle that protects individuals from unlawful imprisonment by enabling them to petition for the court to review the legality of their detention. When asked if she supported this, Noem said, "Yes, I support habeas corpus. I recognize that the President of the United States has the authority under the Constitution to decide if it should be suspended or not. But this is also incorrect, as Article 1, Section 9 of the U.S. Constitution prohibits the suspension of habeas corpus unless of cases in rebellion or invasion when the public safety may require it." This is a problem. The head of the Department of Homeland Security should know what this law entails. This is essentially what protects you from being black-bagged in the middle of the night and being put into a van by the government. This is added to a long list of things at this point which the Trump administration does not know how to do, and is more clear of how unqualified they are to be doing their job. None of the people in this administration are qualified, and that is becoming more clear every single day. Day after day, there is another situation where an official does not know what their job entails, does not know what something involving their job entails. I'm trying to make this not blinding. Hopefully that helps. Anyways, she is not qualified for her job if she does not know what habeas corpus is. That is one of the main things as the Department of Homeland Security. You should know why U.S. citizens aren't able to be black-bagged and put into a van. Moving on, Caroline Leavitt has done a press briefing for children. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt faced a series of questions from children at the White House Take Your Kid to Work Day. Kids asked about Trump's McDonald's order, which she said was a burger and fries, but Trump has historically said it was a fillet of fish. She was asked about if the president liked hugs and many other intriguing questions from children. One child asked how many people Trump had fired. Caroline Leavitt would boldly lie to this child, saying nobody had been fired, but one person from the administration did leave their job. Lying to children is not unexpected from this administration. Thousands of people have been fired from government positions and now either don't have a job or are working for a foreign government. It is crazy to say that, but it is true. She claims that Trump has not fired anyone, and that is wrong. That is a bold faced lie to not only that child, but the American people, as thousands of people who formerly worked in government positions do not have a job. Moving on to the final topic for the Trump administration segment today, Trump has unveiled the Golden Dome missile defense system. Trump has unveiled a huge plan to shield America from any attacks by building a Golden Dome. Trump said in the Oval Office, once fully constructed, the Golden Dome would be capable of intercepting missiles, even if they are launched from other sides of the world and even if they are launched from space. This would be done before the end of Trump's term and would cost $175 billion. According to Trump, construction will start at $25 billion in next year's budget. This dome is based off Israel's Iron Dome and would use satellites and could also function as a space-based missile defense. This is unnecessary. It is going to cost taxpayers so much, not to mention the cost it will to maintain and run the system. We need to be cutting military spending rather than putting it into, or we need to be cutting military spending rather than putting it into programs that are unnecessary. We should be putting it into programs that are beneficial for the American people, like healthcare, like education. The long list of things that the American people need. We don't need a military defense system. We already have some of the largest air forces in the world. We already have one of the largest navies in the world, actually the largest navy in the world. We have the strongest military in the world. We do not need to add to that. Nobody is going toe to toe with the American military by themselves, although a few countries previously have done that in the past. Realistically, no country should be going toe to toe with the American defense system. Moving on to the other news segment for today. This is our final segment, and we have two topics to talk about. Opening up with the first one, as Israel has a death wish. A new intelligence report has been obtained by the United States suggesting that Israel is preparing to strike Iranian nuclear facilities, according to CNN and multiple officials. It is not clear whether Israel has made a final decision on the matter, but this is still something terrifying to hear. There's limited information on this as expected, but Israel must have a death wish if they plan to do this. That is World War III right there, without a doubt. I guarantee you nukes would fly if Israel decided to strike an Iranian nuclear defense area. Hopefully, this does not happen because people in the Middle East do not need to die. That is the last thing that the Middle East needs. There has been so much dying recently, and it needs to stop. But of course, Israel is, out of all countries, Israel would be the one to continue the dying. I've said time and time again that I do not like Israel. Of course, I have nothing against Jewish people. You guys are free to support whatever you wish. Just don't force it on me. That's all I ask. But, not a fan of Israel. I think the country does terrible things. And I will continue to say that no matter how it gets looked upon me by, the American political system and all of that. Because truly, I don't care. I'm going to be successful in politics anyways. No one is going to stop me. When I'm in the Oval Office one day, I will shit on Israel as much as I so please. I could not care less. But, hopefully this does not happen because I don't want to see people dying. And I'm sure majority of people don't want to be seeing people dying. Moving on to the final segment for today is a bill has passed where there will be no tax on tips. A unanimous vote has taken place in the Senate that eliminates federal tax on tips. Democratic Senator Jackie Rosen brought the bill to the floor expecting it would be blocked, but instead it would be passed with unanimous consent. Rosen said before yielding, "This bill is not a be-all, end-all, but it's going to offer immediate financial relief while the Senate continues to work to lower costs and find other avenues of relief for hardworking families." This was one of the campaign promises from the Trump administration and has now been completed. This is great news. Obviously, yes, it was a campaign promise from the Trump administration, and I obviously do not agree with a lot of the things the Trump administration does. But, tax on tips aren't the worst thing. Of course, servers don't make the most amount of money, and tips are, relatively very helpful for paying bills and so many other things. So it's good to see that, there isn't going to be a tax on tips, and that has officially been gotten rid of. I mean, yeah, I really don't see anything wrong with this. If you guys see anything wrong with it, feel free to state your opinions down below. But at the end of the day, servers do not make a lot of money. So why should we be taxing the tips if they're already not making much? With that being said, thank you all so much for watching this video. I truly do appreciate it. If you are on YouTube, please consider subscribing. We are on our way to 500 subscribers, and I'd like to get there soon. But if not, you can always like and drop a comment down below. I really appreciate all forms of support. If you're on Substack, please consider pledging your support. All funds go to me. They help me pay for the things that I'll need to pay for in college, like food, clothing, all those sorts of things. But if not, you can always subscribe for free. I truly do appreciate all forms of support. I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for you guys. Please also check out my Blue Sky. That's where I put out the notifications for these videos coming out. And, I also put out random little bits and pieces about my life or so many other things. But yeah, that being said, thank you all so much for watching. And I will see you all in tomorrow's episode. Later.